Hello everyone, I'm the Canadian Gaming Penguin. In today's video I will be unlocking the Gunbreaker job. This video won't be focusing on how a Gunbreaker works, but rather it will be focusing on the introduction to Gunbreaker. That is, the first two quests, the quest to unlock the job, and the job's first quest. Both of these quests give the opportunity to see how some of the skills work, or at least how it works with me behind the controls. Gunbreaker in Final Fantasy XIV is a tank job. The job becomes available to players when they own the Shadowbringers expansion and have leveled any Disciple of War or Disciple of Magic job to level 60. And the lore behind Gunbreakers, as Square Enix tells us, is the Hrothgar of Northern Isengard have passed the art of gunblade from one generation to the next. The weapon itself combines a sword with a firing mechanism, emitting a range of magical effects by utilizing ethereally imbued cartridges. Originally employed by Queen Gunhilda's personal guard, they were once known as Gunhilda's blades, and differ greatly from the similarly named weapons used in Garlean Empire. So as you can see, I'm already as a Gunbreaker, and that's power magic. Editing! So next you'll actually see me acquiring said quest. And here I'm at over here where I can now unlock the Gunbreaker job, and the makings of a Gunbreaker. An anxious member of the gods' quiver is haranguing passerbys, presumably for some worthy cause. Oi, miss! Fancy making yourself useful? Listen close. A gang of highwaymen have been applying their trade round here these last few days, and we're trying to flush them out. They're slippery buggers, though, so we need all the help we can get. That's where you come in. We've spotted him lurking in the bramble patch, and we're getting ready to spring our trap. All you have to do is call anyone who strikes you as a bit shifty and raise the alarm. We'll take care of the rest. And with that, you also hear the Shadowbringers accepting quest sound. So in this case, we now need to head to the East Shroud, and obviously the closest Aetheryte is the Hawthorn Hut. And I'm going to switch to a class that is actually level 60. Because this is a level 60 quest. Destination. Out of my way or I'll gut ya! Merry swordsman. Peculiar conjurer. Vicious highwayman. On the weaker side, apparently. The Killer Conjurer. Phew, that was a close one. Weary Swordsman. Aiding. You have my thanks, stranger. And mine. If you hadn't shown up, things could have gone very badly for us. It's my fault. I'll be more careful next time. Truth be told, I thought we'd have a quieter journey after sneaking past all those Imperial patrols and leaving Girabani behind. How wrong was I? To think we can be caught unawares by a gang of common thieves. What's going on? We heard a commotion and... That's one of them, just like the witnesses described. It's strange they go after a pair like you. All their marks so far have been merchants and whatnot. You know, folk carrying coin and valuables who won't put up much of a fight. I reckon that if any of their cronies are out there watching, they'd think twice before crossing you lot again. Still, might be an idea for you to see these travelers to Gridania. Me and others will keep looking for the rest of the highwaymen. Those bandits. Something about this doesn't sit right with me. We barely have a fistful of gil between us, and I have a couple of foams of edged steel strapped to my back. Not the most likely of targets. Perhaps that's why they went straight for the kill, and they might have succeeded if you hadn't stepped in. We are in your debt. I'm Radovan, and this is Sophie. We traveled here from Ilzabard far to the north, where once I served as a soldier of Garlemald. Wait, what? I had no choice. My family was taken hostage. While it is true that I have fought and killed for the Empire, I would never have done so willingly. Although I freed myself of their shackles, the life I'd known is no more. But that was another life, one I would sooner put behind me. I came to Eorzea in the hope that I might start anew here. As for me, I also escaped from the Garleans. I was part of a resistance movement, until we were all rounded up or killed, that is. The Empire took everything from me, my family, my homeland. With nowhere else to go, the two of us decided we'd stand a better chance of surviving if we stuck together. And here we are. To see me now, you'd scarce believe I once served as a personal guard to my queen, but in the end I couldn't protect her. I couldn't protect anyone, not even my wife and son. While I would have gladly given my life for theirs, it was not to be. Even so, there may still be a use for the skills I spent years honing, those whom I may yet deliver from harm. That's why I suggested looking for employment as a bodyguard in Eorzea, and Gridania seems a good place to start. I know you've helped us enough already, but I have a proposal. Would you consider working with us? Sure. Now hold on, Rodovan. That's rather a lot to ask, don't you think? But Slebring has what it takes to become a gunbreaker. It seems my gunblade has caught your eye. You may have seen Garleans wielding something similar, but this is the genuine article. The ones used by the Empire are simply edged weapons with a firearm bolted on or vice versa. While they have their uses, they pale in comparison to those my clan forged for generations. Our gunblades are ethereally imbued cartridges. When you pull the trigger, the powdered crystal within ignites, releasing the ether. This sends a powerful shockwave through the blade and increases its destructive capabilities. The cartridges can even be fired into the air to create defensive barriers. Perhaps you should save the lectures until you've heard Celebrian's answer? Oh yes, first things first. So, are you interested? In exchange for assisting us, I will teach you the art of the Gunbreaker. And I was wondering if you might be able to act as a guide. If you'd accept gunblade training as a form of payment, we'd be most grateful. Once the coin starts rolling in, you'll receive a fair share. You need not answer right away, but please give it some thought. Well, I don't really need to think. I came here for that purpose. When Radovan's at his best, he's unbeatable. The truth is, he's not always at his best, as you saw. I think we'd both feel a lot safer with someone like you alongside us. Radovan, have you reached a decision? Do you wish to become a gunbreaker? Absolutely. From this day forth, our fates are intertwined. While the path that lies ahead is not an easy one, the spirits of my predecessors will watch over you. And with that, we get the soul of the Gunbreaker, a high steel gunblade, and the Outsider's attire coffer, which is effectively the level 60 gear for the Gunbreaker. So you don't have to worry about getting your Shire gear or anything like that right away. Gunbreaker unlocked. And continue with that, we need to equip this, but before I do that, I am going to open that and then add all those things into my coffers. And I already have the Shara gear, but if we wanted to see the Gunbreaker's gear... So this is the gear for the Gunbreaker. And I can add that to my hotbar now. And the powder gauge The symbol indicates the defensive stance, so this is that thing right there. Royal Guard is now effective, which increases enmity, or aggro. Performing a combo ending in Solid Barrel or Demon Slaughter, acquired at level 40, adds cartridges to the powered gauge, which are expended by Burst Strike and Gnashing Fang, acquired at level 60. I'm not actually sure why it mentions that. You can view the job gauge description at any time from the Actions and Traits menu. And before I do anything else, I am going to change the HUD so that we'll put that there for now, because yeah. And of course the next try of fixing the hotbar. There we go, I think I have that right now. Sophie, perhaps some of our acquaintances in Gridania would have work for us. Radovan is keen for you to put your newly acquired skills into practice. Now that the Gunbreakers of Eld have yielded a portion of their wisdom, we are ready to take blade in hand. Rather than spending moons and moons training you, perhaps we had best find employment first. We can use the time between assignments to refine your abilities, but where should we start? The Adventurers Guild? Yes, that sounds quite promising. I suppose we are adventurers after all. Tell me, Celebrin, are you familiar with this sort of thing? Oh my, in that case we couldn't have found a better guide. Well, there's no time like the present, shall we? And with that, we need to teleport to New Gridania. Sophie, you know, adventure sounds a lot more romantic than hired muscle, even though that's essentially what it is. Right then. Now that Mother Mion has made us formal members of the Adventurers Guild, we can start accepting assignments. In fact, we've already been given the details of a potential client in need of a bodyguard or two. A man named Lassen Cho is waiting by the Wailing Barracks. Sophie will try making her own way there to get her bearings. Sophie, I feel strangely at home here. It's not at all like the cities in the Empire. Radovan, we thought it best to wait for you before we introduce ourselves. Lassen Cho, you must be the one sent by the Adventurers Guild. Yes? Ah, thank goodness. Something dreadful has befallen. Well, threatens to befall. The one and only Editha. Editha? You mean to say you are unfamiliar with the most gifted harpsichordists who ever lived? Whatever possessed me to hire such uncultured but... It appears my breath would be better spent briefing you on the nature of my request. A few days ago, Editha, whatever, received a most unwelcome missive, a death threat to be precise. At first I deemed it nothing more than the crazed scrawlings of some harmless churl. That was until during a recital a stone was thrown at her, missing by a hair's breadth. I have, in my capacity as her manager, cancelled all public appearances until the perpetrator can be brought to justice. I fear, though, that my delicate tulip would wither and fail if confined to her dressing room, and she has herself expressed a desire to stroll freely beneath the canopies of Makito's amphitheater. I see where this is going. You want us to take her for a walk, is that right? If that's all we have to do, we should count ourselves lucky. A threatening letter, a brazen attack in public place. Who knows what will happen next? But she can't stay indoors forever. I say we accept. Splendid. Without any further ado, I shall have Editha prepare for her promenade. We'd best proceed carefully. If the culprit knows that Lassen Cho asked the Adventurers Guild for help, they can probably deduce that Editha will be coming out of hiding. We should see if anyone bears a grudge against her, so we know what to expect, and we'd better look around the amphitheater for places where an ambusher might hide. And that is over there. And so we need to speak with the locals here. Estain. Why yes, Editha has been the talk of Gridania since her debut. Her skill as a musician is without question, although I sense that many of her admirers are more interested in her bizarre stage garb. Francois? Know of her, I certainly do. I would consider myself to be one of her many admirers. In all honesty, I do not care for the way some of the others ogle her. If the rumors about Itha receiving death threats are true, one of those lecherous scoundrels must be behind it. And Simpkin here? Oh, Editha! Even a moment deprived of her sumptuous harmonies is akin to an eternity of unimaginable torment. When, oh when, will she grace me with her splendor once more? So, you're one of the creeps? And now we need to speak with them over there. But first things first. Sophie. It sounds like Editha has quite the following. Whether that's due to her musical abilities or her eccentric stage persona, it's hard to tell though. Undine. Undine? Yes, yeah, oh yes, she's very talented. Righto then. Celebrin, you have met Miss Ondine? Whatever. Apparently I just sold something. She's a harpsichordist like Editha. That poor girl, what is the world coming to? What a gifted and beautiful young performer such as her must hide away for fear of her life? It beggars belief. It must be one of her followers. I've seen the way some of them look at her, and it makes my skin crawl. With fans like that, who needs enemies? Right. So, what did the other locals have to say? Yes, most of them think that one of Editha's admirers is to blame, but I sense there's more to it. I think that until we have more information, we should treat everyone with equal suspicion. To be on the safe side, personally I'd prefer to carry out a more thorough investigation, but we'd best not keep our clients waiting. And so we need to return over there, and as you can see, some sort of combat. Sophie. After hearing so much about Editha, I can't wait to finally meet her. Righto then. If I were Lassen Cho, I would have hired an investigator to catch the villain instead. An agent of inquiry or some such, perhaps. As long as his name isn't Hildebrand, then you're probably golden. I mean, hi. Lassen Cho. Editha assures me that she will be ready in 2 shakes of a ziz tail, whatever that means. AKA, she'll be ready shortly. Interesting. Oh, my chaperones have arrived. How wonderful. What's with the bunny ears? Oh, to finally feel the sun's warming rays, I am reborn. They weren't joking when they called her eccentric. Ugh. All the prancing about is going to draw unwanted attention. We'd better get this over with as quickly as possible. Sophie, Celebrin and I will escort her to the amphitheater. Why don't you stay behind with Lassen Cho in case we need to hurry back? Fine by me. I'll keep an ear out for the signs of any signs of danger and come running if you call. Although I was fully prepared to join you in guarding Editha and even dressed for the occasion, I will defer to your professional opinion and remain here. But promise me that you'll keep my sweet Petunia safe. Leave it to us. Are you ready, Celebrin? La la la, what a beautiful day for a stroll. And now we need to head for the Mikito's amphitheater. We only need to escort her to the amphitheater and back, but keep your eyes peeled. If you haven't noticed, I already have my tank stance on, which is called the Royal Guard. Oh, I wouldn't dream of it. La la la. I think he told her not to run off or something. I missed it. And avoid any needless frolicking. I don't think I've ever seen anywhere so peaceful and serene. Oh, Gridania is a wonderful place indeed. You should stay a while. Stay a while? Listen. Haha, I will give it some thought. Is that it? It is! It's Editha! Apparently, he told his sisters also. Whatever. An unwanted distraction, but perhaps they can tell us why the bandits are after Editha. Jonathas, you are escorting the lovely Editha? Please allow me to make a record of this day's events. You sure whatever. Sorry, I can't say the name. The whole of Gridania's delights in Editha's magnificent melodies. Every other musician pales in comparison to her. Dimitri. Editha has only recently begun performing in Gridania and has already amassed a considerable following. I have heard, however, that some of the other harpsichordists are envious of her success. Say Theodra. Is it true her music is inspired by all the wondrous places she's seen on her travels? Somehow that's probably not true. Millith Ironheart. I hear that Edith has become something of a recluse of late. I do hope she returns to grace the stage once more. So you get the impression that a jealous rival is the instigator? Yep. Yep. There she is, with the rabbit ears. And we have villainous villains. Who goes there? Never you mind. Step away from the girl, nice and slow. I think not. Slavering, don't let any harm come near her. Or to her. I didn't actually notice that she was healing. Makes sense. You go on ahead. I'll hold them here. Hope we do this okay. What was that all about? If you require any assistance, don't hesitate to ask. Please take good care of her. There could be more of them, so be on your guard. You must be ready to strike at a moment's notice. And I'm also reminded that I need to swap around some of my skills, because that skill I actually want there. But we'll do that some other time. And you can see some villains over here. God, they never learned Celebrian. Take the left again. Your assistance is much appreciated. Ouch, that looked painful. These horrible bandits won't spoil my day. I can tell this one's above the law. What was that? Leave these ruffians to me, and I and the other wood whalers will get to the bottom of this. Enough of this. I'm taking you in for questioning. Not much further now. Do you know who could be behind these attacks? No idea. Crazy people? Yes, I think we've gathered that much. What a beautiful day. Glad to see the threat of... I have no idea what he just said because that popped up way, way too fast. It's too quiet. He must be expecting us. Well, the spawning sound tells me yes. Oh, look at that. We see who Miss Jealous is. My, what a naughty little rabbit. It seems you've wandered too far from your warren. As if that mask was gonna fool anyone, lady. The stage is set for your curtain call, though it cost me a pretty penny to rent the place. This will be the last time you walk over my stage with those grubby little paws of yours. Protect Editha and defeat the assailants. I want the talentless sow's head, something. I didn't catch all that. It's in the chat box. Oops. Let's make sure we get all of them, yeah? Useless, and you call yourselves professionals. Looks like it's time to introduce the little rabbit to my kitty. Now she sends beasts after us? No matter, we will protect Editha at all costs. Guess I should have walked a little further away. Oh well. What's wrong? No more surprises? Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not afraid not. The show's over, now take off that mask before I cut it off your face with it. Miss Undine? I might have guessed, but what's Editha ever done to deserve this? That harlot doesn't know the first thing about real music, and she thinks she can steal my fans, my stage, with those appalling outfits of hers? I won't stand for it. I won't. Will you sit instead? What happened here? I'd heard that Undine wasn't exactly a fan of Editha's, but I never thought she'd pay to have her killed. And now we know that the highwaymen in the woods were in her schemes too. A few days back they held up on Dine's carriage in the shroud, but she made them an offer worth more than the valuables she was carrying. Mind you, I don't suppose there's many of those jerks left after today. You've done us all a good turn, so if you need anything from the gods' quiver, don't hesitate to ask. Now that the danger has passed, Editha will at long last be able to take her triumphant return to Mikito's amphitheater. There is still one thing I don't quite understand. Why did those highwaymen attack me in Rodovan in the woods? Maybe it was because of your ears? I imagine Ondine told them how much I love wearing my favorite bunny crown. They probably thought you were me. Oh, these ones aren't real VR errors. At least I don't think so. Actually, I was wondering if I might have a word in private with the three of you. Pretty sure those are fake. But there are 4 of us. Yes, but only if I include you, which I'm not. What have I done to deserve such treatment? Well, I suppose a lady is entitled to her secrets, but before I return to my duties, I wish to express my gratitude for your part in today's events. You have both performed admirably. Now that the pesky manager of mine is out of the way, let's get to the Great Loom Growery. Yeah, I got nothing either, guys. Rodovan. I haven't the foggiest idea what this is about. Sophie. What could it be? I'm almost afraid to find out. Editha. You risked life and limb to protect me, so I feel it's only fair that I explain myself. One moment, please. What? Oh yeah! What? You mean to say she was a sylph from the very beginning? Oh yes, this one feels much more comfortable now. It is fun to use glamours and play the harpsichord but a little tiring. And this one spent so long in Walking One's house, this one nearly died. These ones needs the sun's rays to flourish to live. This is why this one had to go outside even though dangerous ones were all around. This one hopes helpful ones will understand and not tell simpering one. Listening ones will be sad if this one can no longer play sweet, sweet music. Your secret is safe with us. Uh-huh. I am ever so grateful. Promise you'll come to listen to my harpsichord soon? Yes? Tee-hee! Bye-bye. Not quite the conclusion I was expecting, but a satisfactory one nonetheless. I must say, you've acquitted yourself rather well, Celebrian. It normally takes a lot longer for novices to grasp the fundamental differences between a gunblade and a regular sword. It was originally developed by people in the Third Astral Era. The march of the Allegan Empire had driven us to the barren wastelands where even survival was a constant struggle. Our queen, Gunhildr, was closely guarded by loyal soldiers known for unique swords they wielded. These weapons, Gunhildr's blades, eventually came to be known as gunblades. Meanwhile, the Allegans were developing firearms capable of launching projectiles over great distances. As they were similar in appearance to our gunblades, we referred to these weapons as guns, a term which is now commonplace. So effective were these new weapons in the battlefield, the Queen's Guard decided to specialize in smashing through the enemy lines and destroying them as swiftly as possible. Thus did they come to be known as Gunbreakers. Even after the fall of the Allegan Empire, these techniques were passed down to each new generation. My clan are the descendants of Gunhildr's royal guard, although I am all that remains. It is my duty to see that the art of Gunbreaker lives on, even if that means entrusting it to an outsider such as yourself. If you like history lessons, you two will get along like a house on fire. I'd best leave it there for the time being. I don't want to overwhelm the lass. The best learning is done on the field, however. As pleasant as Gridania is, I am eager to see what the other city-states have to offer. Then may I suggest Ul'dah? Their markets have goods from all over the world. I'm dying to take a look. Ul'dah it is then. Sophie and I will go on ahead. When you arrive, seek us out. We shouldn't be hard to find. And with that, we need to head to the quicksand in Ul'dah. Sophie. The best way to settle in a new place is to dress like the locals. Well, that's my excuse anyway. As you can see, she changed to retire. I kinda liked your old outfit better. Rodovan. It's good to finally get away from that noisy marketplace. Not that this watering hole is much quieter. Still, it's a paradise compared to anything you'll find in Garlean territory. I think he's just in a sour mood because he can't find any work. You're not wrong there, Sophie. I'll keep looking, though. Celebrian, you'd better train by yourself until we find our next client, which with a little luck will be soon. Ta-da! Hey, and that's the Gunbreaker job in a nutshell. Well, not really, but it's the first 2 quests that you'd see with the Gunbreaker job. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit that like button. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching!